Hello, TSD managers. This training relates to how to write SMART goals. So during today's training, I will elaborate on the acronym SMART to end up with the actual goal itself. Once writing these SMART goals, they will then be put into the employee's performance evaluation in the CAP system. Upon completion of this training, there will be two objectives to have been met. One is understanding that SMART goals is all about fostering collaboration between the manager and employee, and also viewing the employee evaluation as an opportunity for employment development rather than performance review. The acronym SMART, or S-M-A-R-T, has 5 components. S is the goal specific. M is the goal measurable. A is the goal achievable. R is the goal relevant to their position. And T is the goal time bound. SMART goals are effective because the employee is able to invest in their professional growth because it increases motivation, focus, and accountability, which leads to a higher rate of goal attainment. SMART goals have numerous benefits, and I'll share a few of them. The first one is that there's a shared understanding between the manager and the employee because they've both discussed their expectations of the goals and have come to an agreement about how they can track those goals. That discussion helps lessen any misunderstanding. It also supports motivation and buy-in. The employee is involved with the goal-setting process, which results in a commitment to completing that goal because they have had their own input. That input then fosters ownership and accountability. That goal has a customized development aspect because the employee and manager have been able to sit down and discuss employee strengths, area for growth, and developing job goals around that. The manager is able to recognize areas in which they'd like the employee to grow, and they can sit down and discuss that goal setting. It also allows for open communication between the manager and employee. Through that evaluation process, they have ongoing communication and feedback that is shared. This allows for the goals to be tweaked, to offer support and continued collaboration, which then fosters trust and a positive work relationship between the manager and employee, and at the same time, cultivating that comfort level to discuss their goals through that growth process. So now, having gone through that acronym, I'd like to show you the formula for how to write SMART goals. So I'll explain now all the components and show you the formula again towards the end of the training so you can see what it looks like at play. This is an important tool to help you with writing those SMART goals. So S, specific. This means that the goal should be clear in what you're wanting the employee to achieve. It is specific. So in this instance, the employee will improve his presentation skills for team meetings. It is clear and specific. A vague employee goal would be the employee will do better at work. The next, M, measurable. Meaning that the employee is able to measure their progress, seeing that they are on track. For example, the employee will practice presentations weekly and request feedback from 3 coworkers on clarity, delivery, visuals, engagement, and time management. This is clear, it's measurable, A vague example would be the employee will practice his presentations. It has no indicator of measurement or how to improve. A. Achievable. Meaning, can the employee accomplish this goal? We don't want it to be a skill set where it's easy for the employee to attain and get it over with. We want this to be a stretch goal, meaning it's challenging. The employee does have some skills, but they may need some more practice to grow in this area. For example, the employee will improve his presentation skills by practicing once a week for 3 months. So they will make some gains. There may be some struggles slightly, but they'll see incremental improvement through feedback and therefore achieve it. We don't want something like the employee will become the best presenter at TSD in 1 month. You're guaranteed to have an employee that is frustrated and discouraged by that type of goal. You want someone who is motivated and challenged by the goal that they're presented with. R. Relevant. The goal is related to the job position. You want to make sure that the goal also supports the managers, the department, division, and TSD's end goal. For example, the employee will improve his presentation skills because it will help him communicate better with TSD employees. It is clear and relevant to their job. You don't want an ambiguous goal or a goal that is not relevant to TSD or the job position, such as the employee will learn how to bake 10 cakes. It is irrelevant and not related to their job. It should be related to the position, department, division, and TSD as a whole. T. Time bound. Meaning there's a start and end date for that goal. For example, the employee will improve their presentation skills by the end of 3 months. It could be stated by the end of January 2025, by April of 2025. It could be 3 months, 6 months. The important part is that there is an end goal, an end date for that goal. Rather than the employee will improve their presentation skills, which has no end date in mind. They don't know what the time frame is for that, or that they'll have to complete it in a certain time frame, whereas 3 months shows an end time for that. So now I'd like to go back to that formula screen that I showed you at the beginning of this portion of the training. This is the SMART goal formula whenever you're writing those out. This is a great tool for managers because, again, it's all about fostering collaboration between the manager and employee in developing those performance goals for the employee using the SMART formula. And then you're able to put that goal into the CAPS system. Let me give you an example of what a goal might look like. The employee will improve his presentation skills by practicing and getting feedback once a week for 3 months, so the employee can give more confident presentations to TSD employees. Now, I'd like to take it one step further and break it down with some color coding within that goal to recognize the action, method, time frame, and result. That color coding will help you recognize where it falls within the formula. This is the conclusion of the training. So 2 things to keep in mind. Employees and managers should be working collaboratively. That is a large component of writing these SMART goals. And secondly, this is an opportunity for the employee to have their own buy-in with the performance goals and in that process. This is not performance review, but employee development. If you have any questions, struggling with it, need some feedback, please reach out. We're happy to support you. Thank you.